Ask the new Lord Forrester.
He's not here, is he? She is. The girl can speak for her house.
Joffrey is the one true king, Your Grace.
And yet... For centuries, the Forresters have been loyal bannermen to House Stark. A house of traitors.
Uh-huh.
They were the Wardens of the North. We all served at the pleasure of the king.
Clever girl.
Perhaps too clever for her own good.
The girl did name Joffrey as the one true king.
Is your house willing to swear fealty to your new liege lord, Roose Bolton?
Absolutely. Ah! Dang it!
No doubt she's speechless in your presence, Your Grace.
Ah! Because
Old
I'm trying.
allegiances are not
If I could
easily
push 1, 2, 3,
abandoned.
4.
But now that the war is over, we must look to rebuild and forge new alliances. There are ships and shields to be built, and Joffrey will need a steady supply of ironwood for his armies. I'm told there are others who would happily serve that purpose, but I trust we can rely on House Forrester.
Forster Ironwood does seem rather unique.
Yes, Your Grace.
It would be a shame to see it fall into the hands of another house. I imagine you'd do almost anything to prevent that from happening, wouldn't you? Ask any Lannister, and they'd do whatever was necessary to save Casterly Rock. It would be unfortunate to see another house lay claim to what's yours.
Yes, Your Grace. I would do anything.
Oh no, don't do that.
I see.
What would you have the girl do, Cersei? It's not as if she fought beside the Starks, wielding a battle axe for the Northern Army.
It raises an interesting question, I suppose. Can we truly blame those who end up on the wrong side of the war? Our dear Marjorie here was betrothed to Renly Baratheon on the false assumption that he would one day rule the Seven Kingdoms. Can we fault her for her mistake? Should she be held accountable?
I won't judge her.
I won't judge her, Your Grace. I wasn't there. I didn't face her decisions.
Aren't you a delightful girl? If only one could flit through life without ever holding an opinion of their own.
If there's a point to this, I hope you find it quickly.
Loyalty can be such a hard thing to define. This city alone is filled with all sorts of ambitious opportunists looking to reinvent themselves, pretending to be something they're not. Who knows what lurks within their hearts? You are a girl from the north, here in service to Lady Marjorie. One can only assume her interests are yours. Yet loyalty to a king, that must be absolute, beyond question. And if your loyalties were to become conflicted between your king and the very person whom you serve, what would you do then?
I'm sure she
Let the
would...
girl answer the question. Go on.
I would be true to the king, Your Grace.
Well said. I was beginning to worry you didn't have your priorities straight.
She is a threat to the crown, isn't she? The most dangerous handmaiden in all of King's Landing.
My sense is this girl will say almost anything to get what she wants. Which is not very encouraging. I'd like a word with you, if I may.
Of course, Your Grace.
I have a bad feeling. Say something witty. Please
I'll
say
walk
something
you out.
witty. Thank you.
This may come as a surprise, but I met your father once, at the tourney at Lannisport. Even then he didn't trust Roose Bolton. We only spoke briefly, but your father struck me as an honorable man.
Thank you,
You
Tyrion.
have my condolences for his loss. These would be trying times for your family, even under the best of circumstances.
Thank you, Lord Tyrion. That's very kind of you to say.
That certainly took courage. To so publicly declare your loyalty to Joffrey for all to hear. Poor Lady Marjorie was humiliated, although Cersei seemed quite pleased. It was quite the first impression. I, of course, found it all highly entertaining. No doubt Lady Marjorie will forgive you. Eventually. My sister and I have our differences. She takes great pleasure in her little charades. I take mine in thwarting them. We must find our amusements where we can. She threatened to give your ironwood to another house. It is the Master of Coin who decides such matters.
And you are the master of
The
coin.
crown needs boats. Boats need wood, and I speak for the crown in this regard. Not her.
What are you suggesting?
I suppose the crown could be persuaded to secure ironwood from House Forrester. Lady Marjorie might not look favorably on such an alliance, and it would infuriate Cersei. Although what would be amusing for me might prove rather dangerous for you and your house. Are you willing to risk that? It may be far too dangerous. In fact, forget I even suggested such a thing.
It's a risk I'm willing to take, Lord Tyrion. Please.
You are a brave girl, aren't you? I'll consider it.
Thank you.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I promised Sansa I would join her for dinner tonight. 3 beautiful bottles of Dornish wine await my arrival. The mere thought of them makes me thirsty already.
Good night, Lord Tyrion.
Just be careful. This is not the North. King's Landing can be a nest of vipers to the uninitiated.
I hope I play the game well. I'd hate to die. And in the end, the House Forrester falls as the trees are given away freely to all around the world.
Mira, I was worried.
Who are you?
How was it?
Terrible.
Cersei has a way of looking at you as though you're nothing. It's more than a little intimidating.
It went well.
Really? That's a relief. Cersei is known for being rather difficult.
I'll say.
Lady Marjorie
Look at
has
that
spent the
beautiful
entire day
composition
working on seating arrangements for the wedding. Of course, you and I are seated way at the back, here with the 4th cousins and the 9th-born sons.
Oh well.
Sir Jaime, I wouldn't mind tarnishing that white cloak of his.
Sarah!
What?
Shush.
It's true. And Oberyn Martell, the Red Viper. I'm told he has a paramour, which I doubt is Dornish for wife.
You'll get us in trouble.
We're just having some fun. Perhaps Lady Marjorie could make the right introductions. Who knows? We might meet our future husbands. Although, marrying a king, I can only imagine what that would be like.
Terrible.
Would you marry Joffrey if it meant you'd become queen?
Nope. Mm-mm.
He does
No.
have a certain look about him. And he's always treated Lady Marjorie well. Which is more than you can say for his mother.
I don't want to be queen, no matter who I'd have to marry.
Don't want to be queen? You northerners. You'd make a perfect scepter. Well, I would marry him. Imagine the power you would have as Queen of the 7 Kingdoms.
Ah, yes.
I
but
might
all
even
that
allow you to be
stress.
my handmaiden. Let's see, who else should we marry off? Brienne of Tarth and Tyrion Lannister. What a perfect match! Sir Bronn and...
What are you doing? Well?
I'm sorry, my lady.
As am I. We shouldn't have been messing about.
This is not a game. It's a battle plan. Allies and enemies can be made with every move. Yet they say it is men who are powerful. The Queen was pleased by your display, Mira. I'm just glad it's over. King's Landing can be exhausting sometimes. There's always someone to please or some perceived slight to smooth over.
It's like
I fear it will only get worse when I am queen.
the
Once they know
characters
the true
receive
heart,
more
the lords and
detail
ladies
than
will have
a lot
no
of the other
choice but
things.
to love you.
Everything else seems kind of
Do
like
you
more
agree?
watercolors.
People are not always so easy to please. If you showed Cersei your true heart, she would stab it with a fork.
You learn very quickly. I know you must fear what Lord Bolton might do to your family. I do appreciate your willingness to appease her, as difficult as it may have been.
Thank you, my lady. There's been something on my mind. Something important. I did have a favor to ask of you in return.
Whatever you wish to say, you can say it in front of Sarah. There are no secrets between us.
It's about my family.
I trust her. Go on. Ask.
Forgive me, my lady. I wouldn't otherwise ask this of you, but my mother insisted. It's about my family.
Ramsay Snow. What would you have me do?
My mother fears our family will suffer if Ramsay is left to do as he likes. She thought, if a raven could be sent to the Boltons to let them know House Forrester has the protection of the crown. I know it's a lot to ask of you, and I wouldn't otherwise, but she insisted.
That is no small request, especially now.
I know, my lady, and I wouldn't ask this of you otherwise. But my mother has left me no choice. She insisted.
Joffrey knows only too well your family fought for the Starks. And now you would have me ask him to intervene? Is the situation that dire?
You can't, my lady. King Joffrey won't like it. Just think how he turned on Lady Sansa.
My mother feels it is urgent, my lady. She's unfamiliar with King's Landing and its politics. I hope you can understand that.
Very well. I'll make your request, but I cannot promise anything.
Thank you, my lady. I will send a raven to my family at once.
I feel this was a bad move. Wolf's Wood. Do we at least have a weapon?
Seven hells.
And 7 heavens. Oh!
Let's play a little game, shall we?
Oh no.
Did you know my ancestors wore the skins of their enemies as a coat?
Oh! I know this guy.
Not my best work, unfortunately. I suppose I have fallen out of practice. But he didn't make it easy, what with all that bloody noise.
I hate this guy so much.
I thought he'd never
He's
stop.
creepy.
As my father likes to say, a naked man holds few secrets, but the flayed man holds none.
Pity he didn't know your father is the Warden of the North.
Oh,
He does now.
no.
How much further is it to these foresters?
This
Day,
is
my lord.
bad.
2 at most.
What was that?
This is
Hello?
bad.
Shh! Listen.
No.
There.
No.
Hear that?
It's a horse.
I know I heard something.